Hey friends, welcome to the Bullitt Outdoors YouTube channel. Today we're up at Pratt Creek and Green Mountain, and we really can't do too much off-roading here today. Crap ton of snow. Behind me there is Trail 315, which isn't entirely unusual to be snowed out this time of year, the beginning of April. But we can't make it quite to the Wyoming border with the current conditions. There's a ton of snow right at the intersection of 182 and Trail 315B. So I figured, you know what, I'll just kind of give a little bit of an update with the situation from Hell's Revenge and all that, and the differential and axles. And you know, everything's fixed, everything's back together. I still need to edit and put together the Hell's Revenge video. I'll have that uploaded here soon. And going through the video and trying to remember, you know, different aspects of that day, I'm not entirely sure when the rear axle snapped. And my conclusion is basically I think it snapped on my way down into Hell's Gate. Because the behavior of the machine, you know, it was perfectly normal to me up to that point. After Hell's Gate, you can definitely tell. I mean, I obviously already knew I had a broken axle, but you could tell the behavior of the machine that, you know, the axle was broken. You know, you had basically one wheel drive in the rear and both fronts were pulling. And some situations that you know that you could easily just crawl right over. Coming out of Hell's Revenge, you know, you had three tires spinning. So that's kind of the situation, and I go through the video, I don't necessarily hear anything, and I took it slow because I was waiting on the Jeeps, but I think that's where it snapped. Maybe the rear hub or wheel or whatever locked up momentarily, and just that split second just snapped the axle, or it was already weakened and broken, and something there just went ahead and finished it off. I don't know. Kind of weird. And then an extension of that is when I think about the front differential. You know, I'm no doubt in my mind that the front bearing gave out coming out of Hell's Gate, but I'm not exactly as sure when the roll pin broke, because by everything I read, everything I understand is that when the roll pin breaks, you essentially have four-wheel drive all the time, and that wasn't the case. That wasn't the case before, it wasn't the case after. I was able to turn off four-wheel drive and drive back into Moab and drive around town perfectly fine. You know, I had one-wheel drive. It actually made it easier. Having a broken rear axle actually made it easier to drive around because you don't have a locked rear differential. Well, there's no differential, but anyway, you don't have a spool locking both rear tires together, so you're not constantly dragging a tire around turns. So it actually made it better. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure how that works then. It's an interesting design. I think it's far superior to what Can-Am offers, at least in the standard Maverick X3s. The XRCs have that new, what is it, the Smart Lock, the new differential. So that's a step in the right direction. But the Hillard front differential that Polaris uses, it's definitely ingenious. It's a neat design. And you know, the bearing is like $17 plus shipping. The seal kit was, you know, $17. So, you know, well under $40, and your front differential's repaired. No biggie. There's a comment on that video, aren't you under warranty? And it's like, dude, well over 2,000 miles. I've owned this machine. Oh, how many months am I at now? 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 months? Yeah, I'm well past any sort of warranty. Situation like right there is where you definitely notice not having a front sway bar. So as I said, there isn't really a whole lot to do up here. I knew 7 Mile and Swamp Creek had a crap ton of snow. So much snow that there's actually a Jeep CJ7 buried on Swamp Creek on Trail 171A. Illegally, by the way. 171A is the one trail that's closed throughout the winter. And it's buried up to the windshield. So it probably won't be till July they get that thing out of there. But I've never seen that much snow up there. And as I said here on Trail 315, it is entirely unusual for it to be snowed out at that intersection. However, up here, you're usually able to get to the Wyoming border, if not fairly close. But today, it's snowed out right at Trail 315B. About waist deep. This last week has been some of the warmest weather we've had in a while, so it should take care of it rather quickly. Around in this area here with all the logging that you've been seeing, they clear this road, so that's why you see a lack of snow here. Not entirely sure how to process all the logging that's going on. I mean, look at this. They've wiped out a significant amount of trees. For those that don't live in Colorado, we've had an epidemic within the last decade or so of, it's called Beetle Kill. And these beetles come in, munch on the trees and end up killing them, and so it's a fire hazard. So these last couple years they've really made an effort to eliminate that. If it's opened up some side trails, I wonder if the Forest Service is going to allow those to remain. So here, that's this Trail 315B that way, and that's 182 on the way to Wyoming. And I mean, you can just make it to right there, and then after that, it's, you know, thigh and waist deep. You can't go anywhere. That's highly unusual for it to be that deep right there, especially in April. We'll go ahead and putz around right here. So they started logging here in the same situation as 315B. You know, someone has tried to make their way up there, but it's the same thing. It starts getting knee deep, and there's no way. That again, this one is also, it's not unusual for it to be that deep this time of year. This has always been trees up in here, so this is all new. It's neat being in a new area, so to speak. It's a different perspective on things. I think technically I'm not supposed to be back here, but there's no keep out signs, right? If you're curious, it's probably in the mid 40s right now. It's a nice view over there. So again, I wonder if they're going to allow this to remain open. I can't think of any other situations, you know, in years past where they've done logging and allowed the trail to remain. Nothing comes to mind immediately. That'd be neat though. They keep taking trails away. It'd be nice if they kind of give back a little bit. It's interesting to me that some communities, you know, say like Utah and Arizona, South Dakota, stuff like that, how they recognize ATVs and side-by-sides, they welcome them in, and more or less they go out of their way to accommodate them. Colorado has always been anti-off-road, anti-everything, and it hasn't been until recently that they've really embraced, you know, say, mountain biking. They were definitely against that. Even like the ski areas were anti-snowboarding. So it takes a while, but when it comes to off-roading, you know, Jeeps have been coming for decades to Colorado to off-road, and even then, they still almost go out of their way to close trails and limit access. So for example, this is Pratt Creek and Green Mountain. You can go, you know, do this network of trails. You can cross over, go to Acme, enjoy those network of trails. You can come out of Acme. It's a short drive down into Red Feather, the town of Red Feather. And you could have lunch. You could, I mean, you can't really do any shopping, but I mean, you could enjoy a day or an afternoon in Red Feather and spend money. And if those, you know, the people in the Larimer County and all that just don't allow ATVs and side-by-sides to be on county roads. It's ridiculous. It's even more ridiculous once you get down into Red Feather that you have, like, say, for example, Kelly Flats, and then you go up to 7 Mile and you go down and enjoy Swamp Creek. You could shoot down Manhattan Road, County Road 69, and then enjoy Bald Mountain, and Bald Mountain connects to Kilpecker. Kilpecker connects to Nun Creek and Green Ridge and all those. I mean, you have an entire weekend laid out for you, as long as you can drive on the county roads legally. It's ridiculous. So speaking of Colorado, we do have the Colorado Side-by-Side Expo. It is May 4th at the Budweiser Events Center in Loveland, Colorado. Free to come, free to show your machine. Second annual, so that'll be fun. And then you got Rally on the Rocks, May 13th through 18th in Moab. And I'm working on something. I wouldn't say it's top secret. I posted it on Instagram and Facebook, but I'm working on something. And I hope to have, say, like a time-lapse video or something of the installation. Might as well say it's going to be a wrap. I'm getting a custom wrap for this RZR. And so far, it looks awesome. So I hope to have it done in time for the Side-by-Side Expo. Other than that, I think, I don't know. I guess we're going to call it a day. As I said, there's not much to do because there's so much snow. But, yeah. Be on the lookout for the entirety of the Hell's Revenge video coming soon. Look forward to the wrap installation. I'll try to do a little bit of maybe like a vlog or something at the Side-by-Side Expo. Hopefully we can hit the trails, you know, the snow melts or whatever. See you at 7 Mile and Swamp Creek. Oh no, 7 Mile is going to be closing soon. Good thing I'm thinking out loud. 7 Mile closes mid-April to mid-July. So hopefully we'll probably be hitting up this trail again before Moab. So yeah, be on the lookout for that stuff. Lots and lots of stuff to do. So I encourage you to get onto the trails. Enjoy your side-by-side, whatever brand it may be. We're all a family. We all gotta stick together. And especially in Colorado, we especially have to band together to keep our trails open and look for ways to open up our county roads to side-by-sides and look for ways to open new trails. So, this is Josh with Bullitt Outdoors. If you like what I do, please subscribe. If you like this video or any video I do, please give it a thumbs up. That helps with the metrics and all that stuff. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.